When I first started this program, we only saw between like 80 and 100 people in a year. Last year we saw over almost 700 last year. And this year I anticipate that we're going to see over 1,200. I'm Patty Nyquist-Heisey and I am the RN Refugee Coordinator for Peak Vista. I have been a nurse for 44 years. And I have been the refugee coordinator here at Peak Vista for 13. So we are the only agency in the southern part of Colorado.
So yeah, from here all the way down south to New Mexico, we're the only refugee clinic.
We are the only agency all the way down to Albuquerque.
I've seen a lot from Afghanistan, a few from Syria, Ukrainians, so those are the main ones that are coming in right now, but then a lot of Cubans as well.
It's kind of like doing missionary work without leaving. You get exposed to different languages and cultures.
When I walk into the clinic at Myron on the days, especially when we have all the refugees there, I feel like I'm walking into the United Nations, you know, and I get this amazing opportunity to interact and to learn and to grow with these people. I love it.
So to be a part of it and to give them a little bit of hope and joy, you went through so much, you went through jungles, you went through oceans. So my hope is just to give them hope. So to be here and be a part of that when they first come to America is amazing.
Their courage is just amazing. They've been through terrible things. And nobody leaves your country unless something terrible has happened to you. And the stories are never good, but their courage is just unbelievable.
I just hear some of these stories of some of the situations that people have been through, and I couldn't even, if I try and put myself in their shoes, I couldn't even imagine, being in a war zone and then trying to, flee with your family to an area of safety and then having to be in a refugee camp for who knows how long.
The majority of my refugees have been in refugee camps for over 20 to 25 years before they come. So they've raised their children and their grandchildren all in the refugee camp.
And then they go with the clothes on their back, they have nothing when they come to America. Even when they get to the border, they take away their documents, they take away their medications.
And then coming here to a new country where your customs are different, your language is different, and trying to figure out how to get your children, in school and make sure they're safe, and how do you get them I just couldn't even imagine.
You can walk beside them on their journeys here, but it's heartbreaking sometimes to hear their stories, but it is amazing to see their perseverance in the battles that they overcome.
But I just am constantly amazed at their resilience.
I've learned that we really are resilient as a human race. Just to see especially the young kids coming in and being so excited for education, things that we sometimes take for granted here, really makes you appreciate your everyday life.
These people they didn't want to leave their countries, right? They've been forced out, and many of them traveled under terrible conditions, terrifying conditions for months and months to get to us. And I just feel so grateful to work for an organization where we can really say, welcome, we're so glad you're here.
I've seen one family, that was my very first family, go on to open up their own restaurant, which is incredible.
The thing that helps us most is our interpreters. Not only do they provide us with language services, but they also help us with those cultural differences.
So we have a lot of Dari, Farsi, Pashto, Swahili, Ukrainian, Russian.
My job is to bridge the gap in language. So that's why Peak Vista and I work so well together. You have to build a trust. You have to make them feel comfortable, make them feel that you understand what they've gone through, and you're there to help. Once they understand that, this becomes their home.
So I lived for 2 years of my life in Ukraine, back from 2001 to 2003. I lived in Donetsk, Kharkiv, Zaporozhye, Lugansk. I learned to speak Russian. I learned to speak a little bit of Ukrainian. So for this big, tall, 6'6" guy to walk in and introduce himself in Russian or Ukrainian helps put their guard down.
It takes you past just being a nurse to a patient. It's much deeper than that, because you become someone that they can trust and someone that they can come to when life throws them something terrible.
What Pig Vista is doing for the community, making medical care accessible for people that otherwise probably wouldn't get it, but providing that care in their own native language, that is amazing. And that is why I will always support this program. I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Y bueno, esta institución que fue quien me acogió y te den ese trato, creo que no lo merecemos, y únicamente por el valor que se le da a la vida y al ser humano, y las personas que trabajan aquí lo valoran así porque lo hacen con mucho amor.